Hello and welcome to another episode of, I guess this is the show that I call Popcorn King. It is, of course, still very warm in the UK, and I have these lights on my face, which are just making me even hotter. So if you can hear something in the background, that's a fan, so I don't pass out during the show. I I've seen a lot of movies and TV series and things so far over the past week, and I also just want to give my top 10 movies of 2025 so far, because we're halfway through the year. We've had a bunch of great films, and I think my top 10 might surprise some people. But I just want to get straight into it because I watched a movie that came out very recently, and I think you probably know what I'm talking about. It is, of course, the Superman movie. Just Superman. So Superman is the brand new James Gunn movie, directed by James Gunn, written by James Gunn, starring David Cornsweet, the boy from About a Boy, the girl from what's she in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and then Bradley Cooper for some reason. So, what did I think of Superman? So this, I guess, before I give my thoughts on this movie, let me give, just in case you don't know, let me give some context. This is like the beginning of the brand new DC universe, right? So we had like Man of Steel with Henry Cavill, and we had Ben Affleck as Batman, and this was the previous DC universe, what a lot of people call the Snyder universe, the Zack Snyder, because he directed some of them. I don't know why they called it the Zack Snyder universe, but he directed some of them, so it's his universe. But that kind of just wasn't. It kind of died, right? It kind of very slowly died. Some of the films were good, some of the films were kind of bad. It just died. It was not hitting the heights that Marvel hit, even like remotely. So Marvel were just sort of top of the game. But Marvel have started making some duds recently, I must say. So James Gunn used to obviously work for Marvel, and he made the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But then Disney fired him and then rehired him over some old tweets. Classic. But as DC was going through this restructure, they decided to hire somebody to fill the role of Kevin Feige. So Kevin Feige is the sort of all-seeing eye, the overlord of the Marvel universe at Disney. And DC wanted somebody to do that. They didn't really have someone to do that in their previous DC universe, the Snyderverse. Maybe it could have been Zack Snyder, but I think they didn't officially have someone in that role, so they chose James Gunn. James Gunn came over to DC anyway to do Suicide Squad, which was really amazing. I loved that film. And so they've hired him to oversee the brand new DC universe. And James Gunn was like, well, as I'm overseeing it, I want to basically be completely in charge. I want to be the one who receives the backlash if this doesn't go well, and I want to be the one who receives the praise if it does go well. So I'm going to direct the first movie in this universe. So he says, I'm going to direct Superman. We're going to start off with Superman, and that's where we are today. We've got the new Superman movie starring David Cornsweet, who no one's ever heard of. I've never heard of him. I don't know what he's been in. Maybe he was in the Twisters film last year, but yeah, so here we are. I'm watching the movie and I'm like, okay, this is completely different to the Snyderverse. The Snyderverse was very dark, very kind of cool, bleak. And this is more, I would say it's a little bit more Marvel, but it's actually not more Marvel. It's it's more fantastical than the Marvel. Like, the world in which the Marvel films operate in is basically our world, and then we're amazed at these superheroes, right? But the world that this movie operates in is a world where there are loads of superheroes and metahumans, and there's already sort of wormholes and black holes and separate universes and stuff. Like, that all exists. So it's a slightly different world to ours. And I would say, watching it, I had a really, really great time. Way more fun than I had in most of the Snyderverse movies. There was something, I guess, joyful, hopeful, colourful, funny. It was very funny, this film. I mean, James Gunn's got a great sense of humour. Yeah, it was just an extremely funny film with a big ass heart. You know? A real big heart. Captain America sized heart, if you know what I mean. Just David Corenswet plays a Superman who, more than anything else, just wants to be a decent human being, and he'll save a He saves a squirrel in this movie at one point, you know, and that is as important as saving a human baby, or even an alien baby at one point. Saving a squirrel is as important, and you can tell he just wants to do helpful, useful, good things in this world and stop people from feeling pain. And it's really, really great. There was one line, I think the line that sums this up for me is somewhere in the middle of the film, a line between David Corenswet, Superman, Clark Kent, and Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Lois Lane, where she was like, I was a punk kid, you know, punk rocker, I was super punk, implying that she was angry, she's got a lot of edge, she's gritty. And Clark Kent goes, hey, I was punk as well, I listened to this band. And she was like, come on, that's not punk at all. And she kind of like rolls her eyes at him, and she's like, you love everyone. You see the absolute good in everyone. Everyone you meet, you think is amazing. And he says, maybe that's the new punk. Maybe that's real punk these days. And that sums up the movie. So I'm going to go into the parts of the movie which I found very interesting. There's going to be some spoilers in this, probably. I always give spoilers. Spoiler warning, okay? Yeah. My favourite parts were interactions between, almost like this debate almost, between Clark Kent, Superman, Lois Lane, and even Lex Luthor, I guess. Just this, it's almost a political debate, so it's kind of near the beginning of the movie. You've probably seen it in a lot of trailers. It's a very interesting debate where Lois Lane is like interviewing him. He goes into a made-up country. All the country seems to be made up. He goes into a made-up country and stops them from invading another made-up country. Very much Russia-Ukraine vibes we're talking here. And Superman says, I wasn't doing this as like a representative of the US. I was doing this as a representative of goodness. People were going to die. I stopped people from dying. And Lois Lane has a debate, and it's the debate of, like, who are you to sort of... And this is the same debate that I guess Lex Luthor has, which is, who are you to pass judgment on us, on anyone, really? Like, where do you get your moral barometer from? Why do you get to decide what's right and wrong, and what's good and what's bad? We elect political leaders who we agree with, to kind of help deal with these situations. We have a thing called democracy here, where we elect people to oversee these geopolitical solutions, because the people we elect are hopefully have the same maybe some of the same ethics as us. Like, well, that goes, there's many reasons why you might elect someone, but that's one of the reasons, right? We hire people to do this. We have people who study morality. We've got sort of ethics professors and stuff. There's loads of people on this earth who we could take this lecture from, maybe. But why Superman? Like, there's nothing special about you. Like, you've just gone in there and you haven't really thought about anything past, I just want to save people. And you're breaking all these laws. There's all these ramifications that you're breaking by doing this. And Superman's argument is, okay, that may be true, but I'm still saving people. I'm still stopping a war. I'm stopping people from suffering. And I guess Superman's position in the end would be, it's suffering that everyone really cares about. It's well-being that everybody really cares about. If you ask anyone what their ethics are, and they go, oh, I believe X, and you say, why? Why do you believe that? And they go, because of this, and you say, why? And they keep saying, because of this, because of this, because of this. Eventually, they're going to get down to something that's akin to well-being and avoiding suffering. And Superman's like, sort of down at the bedrock of it, that is what goodness is. That is good. It's just what good equals. There's no other definition for good. You can't imagine another definition for bad other than just maximal amount of suffering for the maximum amount of time. If the word bad doesn't mean that, what does bad actually mean? And so, yeah, he's just there to stop the suffering. He sort of bypasses all the sort of political noise. So you've got these two sides of the debate, and I find it interesting. The debate is very interesting. And that's what Lex Luthor, he even says, like, you're patronizing. Like, your morality that you're laying down on us is patronizing. We've got people who make laws that we've voted on because we want to have certain outcomes in this world. And you think you know better than all of us, and it's patronizing. And Superman is like, no, I think you're making these laws and these rules because you want to minimize suffering, and that is what I'm doing. So very interesting, very interesting. I mean, I've dissected that way more than what the dialogue might say. That's just what I'm reading into it. I just find the political debate very, very interesting. And then we've also got the world building of it. So, like I say, we're in a world where there is loads of superheroes, metahumans. There's like what's they called? Like the World Police or the Universe Police or something. It's very, very Team America. But you've got like this League of Justice, and I'm forgetting all of the terms they put on all these things. But you've also got this prison, which is in a pocket universe that Lex Luthor has created, where he put Superman there for a period of time. It's this sort of, this little pocket universe that sort of, I guess, mimics other universes, but it's there specifically to put people in prison that Lex Luthor doesn't like, including Superman at one point. And I was like, great, this is really cool world building. And yeah, I think that is kind of one of the things that it might be some people's sort of dislike of this movie, or a negative on this movie. For me, it's a great thing, because often it's a bit like you're dropped into the middle of a TV series, right? And you've missed a bunch of setup. You're like, whoa, who is this? What is all this stuff? But sometimes beginnings of TV series, the setup is a bit boring. I have to say, like, sometimes I have to give TV series the 3-episode test. Why a 3-episode test? Because often the first episode and the second episode is dedicated to setting up the world, setting up the main story, and it's very slow and very introduction heavy. It might be quite yeah, it might not be like the meat of the show, those first two episodes. So sometimes you kind of got to grit your teeth and get through those first two episodes so you can enjoy the rest of the series. This movie is like, yeah, we're just going to forget about those first two episodes and we're going to drop you in. And hopefully you're clever enough to just sort of work out what all these people are and who they are and what's happening. And I really appreciated that, because I often don't like the first and second episode of TV series. And yeah, I'm really, really happy we sort of bypassed a lot of things and we just dropped in the middle. And here we go. We're off. We're off to the races. We're off on the story is just, it's going. Like, here we are. It starts very in the middle of Lex Luthor fighting Superman, and Lex Luthor's won this battle. That's literally how the movie starts. There's words on the screen saying Superman's lost his first ever battle, and he falls into the snow. And we realize it's Lex Luthor who's done that. And it's like, oh, cool. So we just slap bang in the middle of it. Great. I'm so into that. I love that. I mean, we all know the Superman origin story. We don't need to see that again. Like, we know exactly what it is. It's unnecessary. It's really unnecessary. So I'm so happy about that. Now, before I end this review, which is a positive review, I want to talk about the bit which almost brought a tear to my eye. And it's to do with Crypto. It's not a scene with Crypto in it. Crypto's the dog, Superman's dog. He's a super dog, and he is a great dog. He's very funny. He's extremely annoying. He's just exactly what you want a super dog to be like, right? And there's this scene where he's talking to Lois Lane, and Lois Lane is already worried. Like, she's had this disagreement with Superman. And he's like, well, I just want to do good. I'm not doing this as a representative for anyone. I just want to do good. And Lois Lane is like, okay, but like, who voted you the king of morality? You know, like, who voted you the arbiter of all things that are right? Like, and she kind of goes, I knew this wasn't ever going to work. Talking about their relationship. And so Superman. So we're now in the middle of the movie. That debate was at the beginning of the movie. We're now in the middle of the movie. The dog has been stolen. News has come out about Superman, about why his parents sent him to the world, and it's bad news. Now the world is turning on Superman, and it's just we're in a bad moment for Superman, and he's at home. He can't find his dog. His dog's been kidnapped. And Lois Lane comes in with some cocoa. And he goes, and this is where the punk, I'm circling back. He says, why did you say that? Why did you think this would never work between you and me? And she says, because I'm punk. I grew up as a punk kid. I'm, angry. I question everything. I question absolutely everything. And you don't, as Superman, you don't question anything. You think everybody's good. You love everyone. You think everyone's got good in them. And I guess Lois Lane disagrees with that, right? And that's where Superman says, well, maybe that's what real punk is. Because punk is just meant to be what's sort of against the grain, right? Punk is meant to be against the norm, against the sort of what the media tell you to think. That's sort of what punk is supposed to be. And the media does make everybody angry and question everybody. So maybe that's not punk anymore, being angry all the time. Maybe punk is believing there's goodness in everybody. Maybe that is punk. And then Superman says to Lois, he says, okay, I'm going to turn myself in. And she's like, why? And he says, I can't find my dog, so if I turn myself in, maybe they'll take me to the dog. And Lois is a little bit confused. She's like, wait, what? Like, is this going to be the last time I see you type of vibes? Like, what, were you just going to go? Like, why? Why are you doing this just for a dog? And he goes, well, the dog's probably confused and all alone and feeling scared. And that's as good enough reason as Clark Kent, Superman needs. That's all he needs. Is this animal might be feeling scared. And so he's going to completely turn himself in. Who knows what the ramifications of turning himself in may be. But he doesn't think twice. There's no thought process beyond, if there's a possibility I can make this animal feel a little bit less scared, I guess it's worth it. And it's just pure goodness, right? It almost brings a tear to my eye. And that's basically the end of that scene. And he goes. And it's like, wow, like, yeah. I wish I could just make snap decisions like that, just based on purely what will minimize someone else's suffering. Like, I wish every single decision I made was that simple and that easy to me. You know, where it's just like, it's barely a decision. It's just, well, this person probably feels lonely, so I'm going to go out and help them. There's no more debate to be had. And it's just pure goodness, you know. It's just the right thing, the big heart, the good thing. And yeah, I would say it really is punk. It is punk rock to do that. So well done, James Gunn. Well done. Great film. I thoroughly recommend it. I think everyone should go and watch it. And yeah, like, let's all just try to be better people, you know. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I would love to know. Maybe hit that subscribe button as well. Right, on to the next review that I've got for you today. And that is a review of a movie that I saw as well very recently. And this movie is called Jurassic World Rebirth. So, Jurassic World Rebirth is the brand new Jurassic World movie. What is this, like number 8 or something? No, wait, this must be number 7. So the 7th Jurassic movie. It's starring Scarlett Johansson. It's starring the new Blade guy. It's starring the guy from Wicked. And then a bunch of other people that I don't really know. So, what did I think of this movie? Okay. I am, look, here's a t-shirt that I'm wearing. Yep, you can see that? There it is. I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan. I would say the first Jurassic Park may be my most watched movie, and is definitely in my top 3 movies ever. I think it's just incredible. And every subsequent movie I've sort of belligerently force myself to enjoy, because I've enjoyed all of them, even the ones that aren't good, you know. So I can see the problems with these films, but I just love them all. I love just watching humans getting eaten by dinosaurs, you know. I just love it, the survivor aspect of it. Now, the most recent one, was it Jurassic World Dominion? Was it Dominion? Something like that. Or, I don't know what the last one was, but it's the one with all the giant locusts and stuff, and cloning of a little girl and things, and just like, hey, I went a little bit down routes that I was like, can we just go back to the dinosaurs? You know, there were some good things about the last 3 movies, but most, like, and like I say, I enjoyed them all, but in the end, like, I look back on them as films that I probably wouldn't really watch again. Now, we're on this one. And I was watching it, and I was like, okay, I'm on the edge of my seat on some of these moments. The script could have been developed a bit better. Some of the storylines could have been developed a bit better. But in the end, I was on the edge of my seat on loads of these moments, really on the edge of my seat. So I make this a positive, definitely, because this movie has moments in it that I won't ever forget. That was so scary, almost. Yeah, I'm going to say scary. So one of the storylines is the Scarlett Johansson storyline. Now, this is probably my least interesting part of the movie. Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, they have to go on this illegal mission to the equator, to some island where the last remaining dinosaurs are on this island, on these islands, on the equator. And they've just got to get a sample from the biggest land animal, the biggest sea animal, and the biggest air animal, the flying animals. And it's to do with creating medicine and then a profit for some evil conglomerate company. And yeah, it's fine. It's just a mission. It's like, okay, I don't really care about the mission. Can we get on the island and be having to face dinosaurs? And they try to shoehorn in like, oh, I've lost my family, or I've lost my kid, or I broke up with my boyfriend. Just they're really trying their hardest to make us feel something for these characters, but it's written in such a obvious way. It does not come across natural or interesting at all, really. It's fun when they're fighting the dinosaurs. I love all those moments, but the storyline is silly Billy, you know? And then out of nowhere, like this family that are sailing across the world or something basically get shipwrecked and get involved in the story. Now that story I like, because that family basically are on their own on the island and they're like, what the fuck, there's dinosaurs everywhere? Like, that's all I need. I don't need much more. It's like just a family dynamic, a lazy boyfriend. There's nothing else you need. There's no mission. It's just like, oh fuck, we've kind of shipwrecked onto an island and there's dinosaurs everywhere that we've got. It's just a survival film. We've just got to run away from dinosaurs. That's all I need. Like, I really don't need any more. It's as simple as that. I loved it. I was like, great. The scene where the family are on a boat in a river and a T-Rex is chasing them is one of the best scenes in all Jurassic movies. It's so scary. It's so like, what the hell would you do in this situation, right? So I really enjoyed watching it, way more than I enjoyed or I cared about Scarlett Johansson's mission. I really didn't care about that mission at all. I was like, can we just be surviving dinosaurs? So yeah, I really love the family storyline. I will say, I do think it's a mistake that in this world, in this universe, humans are bored of dinosaurs for some reason. They're like, oh, there's a dinosaur in the street, like causing traffic. Oh god. And it's like, why would you like belittle your selling point, movie studio, as a studio that makes movies? Your selling point is that you've got dinosaurs. Why would you make them be like, nuisance, they're so annoying, there's a fucking dinosaur in the street making traffic, I gotta get to work. Like, no, they should be majestic, terrifying, exciting. But yeah, you paint them out from the very beginning to be real average, boring, pain in the ass animals, and it's like, oh cool, well, why should I care about this movie? But they get me anyway with the family storyline. So yeah, I'm gonna still give it a good review. I think some bits were a bit, odd, but I'm just gonna give it a good review because just the scene alone of the T-Rex chasing the family is worth the cinema ticket, the admin price, the admission price. Like I say, I really enjoyed it. I think that scene was so good. I think there was a bunch of great scenes in there. Some fun character development with the family, with the boyfriend and the daughter and the dad and the other daughter who looks like Dora the Explorer. And yeah, I think there's enough in it which is worth watching. So I give it a good review. Go and watch it. Let me know what you thought of it. Did you think it was a weird choice to make dinosaurs just be a boring nuisance for people? Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'd bloody love to hear what you think. Next, I am going to be talking about a TV series that I saw that has been sweeping the world. And this TV series is called The Pitt. The Pitt, the TV series, is outstanding. What a year this has been for the TV series, right? Like, a year where we've had The Penguin, we've had Andor season 2, a year where we've had Last of Us season 2, and a year where we've had one of the best series that I've seen in the last 10 years, Adolescence. We've had Adolescence this year. A 4-episode, just pure work of genius. And now I've just watched The Pitt. And I think The Pitt might be my favourite. I think it might be my favourite. That's all I can say. I just think it was so good. So what is The Pitt about? The daily lives of healthcare professionals in a Pittsburgh hospital as they juggle personal crises, workplace politics, and the emotional toll of treating critically ill patients. So this is shot a bit like the series 24. It's one shift. It's one, like, is it 14 episodes? Is it a 14-hour shift? Each episode's like an hour, and it is covering an hour of their work. So let me just check. Season 1 has 15. So it's a 15-hour shift, starting from 7 a.m., finishing at 9 p.m. It's so good. You kind of think, do I need another hospital show? I've seen House. I've seen ER. I've even seen Scrubs. In the UK, we've got Green Wing. I've seen it all. I really don't feel like I need any more hospital-based sort of drama. And then The Pitt comes along, and you don't realise just how much you needed it. It's so good. So why is it so good? Let's get into it. The stress levels are so high. The amount that's on the line basically all the time is just, it's lives, it's people's lives all the time. It's the performances in this show are so good. It's the way the show doesn't let up. For 15 whole episodes, 15 whole hours, it doesn't let up, because that's the job, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think these doctors and nurses really get breaks. It doesn't look like there's enough people there to enjoy a lunch break or have a coffee break. It's people are coming in to the A&E, the emergency room, all the time. The queue is massive. The queue is hours long. And doctors, there's just a limited amount of doctors, a limited amount of supplies. And each case, you know, like, everything has to be quick. Like, we've got to work out what's happening quick to save this person's life. Like, it's so stressful. You've got new doctors there that need to be taught. You've got angry patients. You've got drunk patients, sick patients. Like, it's just hell on earth. Like, it really is hell. The performances are so good. I've really got to give a shout out to some specific performances. What is her name? The lady who plays the she's some kind of, maybe she's the receptionist or something. I mean, the main guy, Noah Weil, he is so good. I think it's Catherine, what's her name? Yeah, I think it's Catherine who I'm speaking of. I'm just getting up some photos of her. She's so good as the, admin of the hospital. Like, stressy McStress, the amount she's got to deal with. at all times. I can't. It's hard to find out exactly which character is which by looking at the photos because they look a bit different in their scrubs. But yeah, she's great. There's so many great parts to this show. I wish I could verbalize to you how good it is. The storyline weaves, like, there are some politics, some, like, you know, drama-y politics between the doctors, but they don't ever stop to have these moments. These moments are weaved into the tension, the non-stop drama of having to deal with patients is weaved into that naturally. It's not like, okay, let's stop and have this slow scene here where we get to have a little bit more character development. No, it's all done whilst being in the middle of having to save people's lives. All the character development is done whilst just, I don't know, performing like life-saving resuscitations and stuff. It's just insane. Like, it's crazy. And like, some of these patients are so frustratingly annoying. Like, there's this one kid that needs some kind of spinal tap, and it needs to be done or the kid's gonna die. And the mum's like, oh no, but like I read online, I saw on TikTok that there's some, you know, like, spinal taps aren't good. Maybe we should wait, see if he gets better. And the doctor's like, why would you believe anything that you've just done your 2-minute like research online over me, a doctor who's been training for the past like 10-15 years? Like, I know exactly what this kid needs. This is going to save his life. And the mom's like, no, I think we should wait. Look, I'm reading online that there's a lot of bad things that can happen. And he's like, there's absolutely no life-threatening thing that can happen if we do this spinal tap. And she's like, no, I'm not having it. That's my son's back. We're going to wait and we're going to see if there's any other options. And it's like, fuck, man. Doctors and the patients thinking they know better. And I get it, like, patients know their bodies and know what they're feeling more than doctors do. But when you're dealing with these things day in and day out, it becomes secondhand, I guess, to doctors, like, who's got what and what they need. And yeah, it's so frustrating. And it's just a crazy, crazy job. And I guess the realization, the part of it that's almost the most crazy is that somewhere towards the end of the last episode, where you're like, I'm out of breath watching this 16 episode series. I'm like, holy shit, that was great. That was so intense. These 15 episodes or however much it is. At the end, when they're just like outside the hospital, their shift is over, the night shift are there. Night shift have taken over and this day shift are going home. And it's like, so, see you tomorrow to do all of this again. And it really hit me hard, where it's like, fuck me. Doctors have to do this every day? They don't get paid enough. That life is hell on earth. Dealing with that amount of stress, that amount of abuse, dealing with that amount of sadness and horror and blood, knowing that people have died on your watch basically every single day, every other hour, it seems. And like, you're in tears, you've been spat at, you've even been punched in one case by a patient. You've been having these arguments with other doctors and patients as well. The stress of getting things right and getting things wrong, and the ramifications being so bad if you do get it wrong. And then you finish your shift, have a drink, go home, and it's like, wake up again and do that again? And that's going to be your life. That's how you've chosen to spend your whole life? Being a doctor? Jesus hell, like, how commendable. Because we need them. We need them to look after us, right? And someone has to do that job, and they don't get paid enough. In England, I think it's like £19 an hour. Some of these doctors. £19 an hour? I'm a singer. And I will, like tonight, for example, I'm going to go and sing in a club for 2 hours, basically. Less than 2 hours. And I'm getting £250. Less than 2 hours. £250. And I'm having fun. I'm having a great time. And people like love me. And people give me compliments at the end. And I get given free food and drinks. And at the end of the year, because of my profession, because of my job, I can write things off to save money on tax, you know? And I get paid £250. I'm getting paid over £100 an hour, basically. And these doctors who've chosen to spend their life in hell because we need them, they get paid £19 an hour. Holy shit. I think the doctors are having another strike in the UK soon. They want it to go up to £21 an hour. And it's like, geez, well, give it to them, you know? Give it to them. But yeah, that's all I've got to say about The Pitt. I recommend it so much. It's such a great series. I recommend it to everybody. Next. I reviewed a little TV series which has been going on for a couple of years, but I hadn't seen it, and so I just binged it. I'm talking about Hacks. So I binged like 4 whole seasons of Hacks. Hacks is great. Like, I have to say, I really, really fell in love with this show. So this show is the I guess I'll read what the synopsis says, the synopsi, on IMDb. I hope you don't mind. So it explores a dark mentorship that forms between Deborah Vance, a legendary Las Vegas comedian, and an entitled outcast 25-year-old. I just think it's great. So it's basically a comedy duo show. It's this, on one hand, a 25-year-old. She's very left-leaning. She's very liberal. She's bisexual. And just part of that sort of young group of sort of Hollywood people, basically. And Jean Smart, or Deborah Vance, is the she's like a more elderly, I think she's in her 60s or something. And she's got more old-fashioned views on things. And basically Deborah Vance needs help because her Las Vegas show is coming to an end. People, the people, she's had this legendary Las Vegas run, this residency at this club, and they're ending it unless she sort of switches it up a bit. So they're both sharing agent, and the agent pairs them together, and they hate each other, and it just works so well. The banter, the back and forth, the non-stop jibes, the digs. It's so good. They're both so witty, and they're both as sort of spiteful as each other. They're both as kind of mean-spirited as each other. You'd think maybe you'd want to paint the sort of younger one as more hopeful looking, but she's not. She's as opportunistic Um, she like it just shows that these two people with kind of different outlooks on life really do share something deep down in their DNA when it comes to comedy, which is like nothing's off limits when it comes to comedy. And it's such an endearing show to watch. I have to say, the Deborah Vance, the girl, the Jean Smart who plays her, is just so good, so funny, so like I say, witty, and I really have to say that this is a sign of a great show. The side characters are some of the best. So the agent and the agent's secretary are so funny. So in this series, the agent, he he's part of this big agency. This agent is part of this giant agency, and he's got some clients basically. Now, the head of this giant agency, the owner, the one with all the money who makes all the decisions, wants his daughter to have a job. So he asks this agent if his daughter could maybe get some work experience, maybe be the secretary. And this agent obviously can't say no because this is the big boss. So the daughter is this insufferable woman who is supposed to be this agent's secretary, the one who's supposed to be getting this agent coffee, the one who's supposed to be doing everything for this agent. However, because she's the daughter of the big boss, our agent, the agent that we love, is she's kind of his boss as well. And it's just a really funny back and forth between those two. Such a weird dynamic. I have to say, I love watching it. And yeah, so I binged through. It's 4 seasons. The most recent season came out this year, the 4th season. Now, I actually do have a problem with the 4th season. And this actually is what ends the 3rd season, I guess. Which is... They kind of fix the relationship, right? It's part of the journey of these characters. They are back and forth, hate each other, they're forced to work with each other, circumstances have thrown them together, they're this odd couple. And they've got this mission, which is to make Deborah Vance be successful again and make her comedy new. And, you know, maybe even get her this late night talk show host job that she's always wanted her whole life. And they end up working together so well. They end up loving each other. The relationship is kind of fixed. And that's the journey that we love to watch, right? We love to watch them go from hating each other to needing each other and loving each other and becoming like best of friends. And they get there by the sort of the end of the 3rd season. They get to that point. But I guess that's less fun to watch. So in the 4th season, and it's kind of instigated by the very end of the 3rd season, they contrive drama between them. So they have to hate each other again. And I didn't believe it. I wasn't on board with it. Basically, the 25-year-old, spoiler, the 25-year-old character blackmails Deborah Vance because Deborah Vance very uncharacteristically stops or prevents the 25-year-old from getting the job as the head writer. And it was out of character for Deborah Vance to do that to the 25-year-old because Deborah Vance has made decisions that are hard throughout the past 3 series because of her growing love for this 25-year-old, the growing friendship. She's made tough decisions in order for the 25-year-old to move ahead in the business. Like, she keeps pushing her, like, do your own writing. You've got to have your own sort of story to tell. Like, I've got to fire you from being my writer because that's what you need. You're just going to get comfortable here in Vegas. And it sort of all works out where they come together and it like, it was out of character. Would they both get this opportunity to host this late night show and for the 25-year-old to be the head writer of a late night show? Like, that's her dream job, basically. It's both of their dream jobs. And Deborah Vance prevents the 25-year-old from getting it. It was so out of character, so random. And then what's even more out of character is the 25-year-old blackmailing Deborah Vance. I was like, this is so out of character, but you've only done it to contrive drama between them because you know that's your golden ticket. Their witty kind of arguments and insults towards each other. That's the star of the show, right? That's the thing in the show that's so interesting to watch. It's their back and forth, and it's kind of fixed. Their back and forth is sort of fixed. They've grown and become this super team, and it's like, yeah, I do understand that if you were going to do a fourth season, you kind of had to have them go back, like take a step back, but it's kind of annoying. It's like, just don't do the fourth season if you're going to retcon a bunch of character development and make them hate each other again contrively through like a way that was out of character. So that was a shame. Kind of let me down a little bit by the fourth season, but it doesn't take away from the overall, which is I just loved it. I loved it. I thought it was so good. And I recommend it to everybody. I think it's so funny. Like I say, so witty. The sharp comebacks from both of them is great. And let me know what you thought. Did the fourth season let you down a little bit with that kind of contrivance? But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Next, I am going to do my top 10 films of the year so far. So I'm going to start with number 10, which is Black Bag. I did a review of this film. It is a sitting around a table, talking espionage film. And it's really good, really stylish. Kate Blanchett, Michael Fassbender, just a great film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's intellectual. It doesn't spoon feed you. It's an espionage spy thriller, but it just sort of takes place around these dinner parties, this dinner table. And just great. The dialogue's great. The acting's great. Have to watch it. At number 9 this year so far. We're talking about so far, right? 2025 so far. Number 9, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Beginning, it's okay. Middle, okay, this is very good. Submarine scene, wow. And then ending, holy shit. The stunts on the plane. Fuck me. What a great... Hopefully, I'm fingers crossed they don't carry on doing Mission Impossible films, because this was a great way to end. Just really great popcorn. I want to sit down, put popcorn in my face movie with watching Tom Cruise do these crazy stunts. So good. Number 8 for me personally. I watched it twice at the cinema now, and I liked it a lot. I'm talking F1 with Brad Pitt and some other people, Javier Bardem, Kerry Condon, whatever her name is. Great film. Just the car racing, Brad Pitt just being cool, Javier Bardem being cool. I was just thrilled. I was super thrilled watching this film. I thought it was awesome. I had the best time. I really did just have the best time. Again, popcorn. We're talking popcorny films at the moment. They're really hitting my top 10. And again, number 7 in my top 10 so far of the year is another popcorny film, which is Final Destination Bloodlines. I had so much fun watching this film. I forgot how good those Final Destination films are. Like, they're silly but good, right? I had so much fun watching it. And just the death scenes are just so insane. And you just can't stop thinking about it. Like, there's so many great scenes in this movie that you won't forget. That's my number 7. My number 6 is not a popcorn movie. This film is called Last Breath. This is the Woody Harrelson movie about the divers that get lost at the bottom of the Scottish Sea, and the rescue mission, and how he only has like 10 minutes of oxygen left. Somehow, the 10 minutes of oxygen left was enough to fill like an hour and a half movie. So good, this film. Just, I was on the edge of my seat the whole film. It was a small film, but it was so, 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 so good. If you haven't seen it or didn't even hear about it, I thoroughly recommend it. Last Breath with Woody Harrelson. Number 5, this might surprise some people, but my number 5 of the year so far was Thunderbolts. Really fun entry to the Marvel Universe. Really loved this film. I loved how it dealt with depression, sadness, loneliness, loss of self-worth. Just really good. Like, I loved this movie a lot. That's why it's in my top 5. Number 4. This surprises me. I wasn't expecting this to be this good. But number 4, I'm talking Superman. New entry in my top 10. Number 4 was Superman. Just funny, colourful, exciting, and just makes you feel like you want to be a good person, you know? It's all about doing good, being the best you can be, being the best human you can be, and just trying to help people, like help as many people as you can. It just made you feel like doing that. Great film. Number 3, I don't know if many people watched this film, but it was so good. Alex Garland directed this with somebody else. I can't remember the name, unfortunately, but it's called Warfare. Warfare is insanely good. It's just a very, very realistic at a situation in the Middle East somewhere with some American armies. And it doesn't over Hollywood it or over glamorize anything. The boredom of it, just the waiting around and sweating, and then the heart pounding terror as well. Like, it's all there. It's so good. Now, my top 2. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not going to expect this to be my number 2 of the year, but I saw this twice at the cinema. Made me cry. I thought it was so fucking good. A great entry to this series. We're talking Bridget Jones's Diary, the newest film, whatever it's called. So good. Just so good. Hugh Grant is great in these films, and just the way they deal with death in this film, the way they really meditate on death, and it just hit me. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's cute. It's very British. It's kind of lovely. I don't even think it was shown at the cinema in America, but here it was wonderful. It just did such a good job at making me feel hopeful, feeling like I can feeling like I can cry for loved ones that I've lost. Just a beautiful, beautiful film. They really do deal with death in such a beautiful way in this film. And that's all the film is really about, that. And then, obviously, my number 1 is probably everyone's number 1 of 2025 so far, and it may remain to be everyone's number 1 by the end of the year. We are talking Sinners. Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan. So good. Just wonderful. The scene in the middle, the musical sequence, alone is so good. It's so new. It's not like anything you'd ever seen before. Honestly, it's transfixing. It's sticking in your brain. It is honestly a film I will not forget for a long, 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 long time. So that's my top 10 of 2025 so far. Black Bag, number 10. Mission Impossible, number 9. Number 8, we got F1. Number 7, we got Final Destinations. Bloodlines. 6, we got Last Breath. So good. 5, Thunderbolts. Loved it. 4, Superman. Loved it even more. 3, Warfare. Oh my god, you have to watch that. 2, Bridget Jones's Diary. Dealing with death. Number 1, Sinners. Vampires. Horror. Talking about social integration and what's the word where you want to suck the blood out of other people's culture, whatever the word is for that. I would love to hear your top 10 of 2025 so far. It's been a good year so far, but as we know, most of the best films come out towards the end of the year, so I'm very excited for the next 6 months. But let me know what you thought. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you at the next one. Yeah? See you at the next one. I love you guys so, so much.